Welcome to the Newtown Big Dreams podcast, an interview-style talk show that's your gateway to the fabulous and fascinating people who relocated to start a new life. Whether you're new to our podcast or your city, our fellow neighbors from across Canada, North America, and the entire English-speaking world share their stories of reaching new horizons and big dreams. So sit back and relax as we navigate in-depth and intimate conversations with entrepreneurs, thought leaders, executives, creatives, and anyone who can share their story about their Newtown big dreams. And now, here's your host, Luke J. Menkes.
So good morning, everybody. It is April the 1st, 2021, and it's 6 a.m. here on the West Coast, and I am with Dr. Kelly Henry. He is in Argyle, Texas, and Dr. Kelly, for 20 years, he has been an award-winning chiropractor, and he's helped his patients live healthier lives. With the foundation of providing exceptional customer service, Dr. Henry grew his clinics into one of the top producing chiropractic offices in the nation with multiple locations and doctors. So since 2018, Dr. Henry has used his system to coach business leaders on improving customer service to rapidly increase growth and profits. And he is the author of Define and Deliver Exceptional Customer Service, which is a book with proven strategies on how to maximize profits. So we're going to talk all about that book today. Dr. Kelly, welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So you're a chiropractor, but you started on a journey towards focusing on customer service. What started you on that journey?
That's a great question. And basically, I backed in to start providing great customer service and just even having the interest in it. Early on in my career, I bought a practice out in New Mexico, in the southeast corner of New Mexico, near where my wife lived. And this particular community, smaller community, many of the businesses were established for, many, many years, not a whole lot of competition. And we quickly found out that a lot of the businesses, not all of them, but there was a significant amount of these businesses that customer service was not on their radar. They really didn't have to provide it. All they had to do was throw on their lights and open their doors, and you had to work with them. Right. And a lot of times, you go do business with them, and you felt like an inconvenience, or, they could care less that you were there. And I just hated feeling like that. So I just made a decision within a few weeks, maybe a month or two of when we moved there and when I started my practice in this community, that I wasn't going to be a typical business like I found. I was going to treat my customers well, my patients well, make them feel valuable. I didn't do it as in the thought of this is going to help me grow my business. I just did it because, hey, I want to be different. And but I started seeing the ramifications, how my patients responded to that, and then it really started piquing my interest. And ultimately, that's what has what started this 20-year journey of me learning and implementing and trial and error, and ultimately the book and what I'm doing now. So.
Mm-hmm. So you're in Argyle, Texas. Were you born and raised there? Or did you move there?
I was not. I was actually born and raised in Colorado.
Okay.
I went to chiropractic school in Dallas and really fell in love with it. Way back in the 90s, met my wife here. And so like I mentioned, we moved to New Mexico, practiced there for 20 years. And then when I retired, I always wanted to get back to Dallas and get back to Texas. So we had the opportunity in 2018 to move this way.
So you agreed to move back to this town is in the Dallas area? Is it close to Dallas?
It is. So yeah, just outside of Dallas.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I've been to Dallas a few times for vacation business, but I've never been to Argyle. Is it a small town or? It
was a small town, but there's been a lot of people moving in, so it's rapidly becoming a large town, if not a small city. So,
and what was the reason you left New Mexico? Just because you missed Dallas and Texas?
Yeah, just love Dallas and Texas, and in the back of my mind, I always wanted to get back over here. The community we lived in New Mexico was great. It was great to raise a family there. It was great for my chiropractic businesses and to expand them and grow them. But it's just not where I wanted to retire. So that's why we made the transition.
Right. Now, you've had this experience, but why do you think customer service is so important to a business?
Well, for me, it's the basis. It should be the foundation for really every business, because when you provide, well, let me just put it this way. Whatever business people are in, the listeners are listening, and whatever business they're in, whether it's a brick and mortar, whether it's digital, whether you're a chiropractor, you're selling shoes, or whatever the case may be, you are providing some kind of customer service, whether you realize that or not. So you're going to either provide great customer service or a level of service that your customers would want to come back and continue to do business with you, or you're going to be providing a service that is not so great, and that your customers, they'll have a wandering eye and probably leave you as soon as they get a coupon or their friend tells them to go somewhere else.
Right.
So either you're enhancing your business with good customer service or you're detracting from it. There's really no middle ground. There's no neutral to it. So it's that vital. So the choice is yours. Most business owners don't really think of in those terms, but really that's what's happening. So, and there's just tremendous benefits from providing great customer service that if business owners will key into, it can take a business from surviving to thriving fairly rapidly. So
Okay.
it's just a phenomenal foundation piece to any business.
Sure. So how would you define exceptional customer service?
Well, my easy definition is a relentless focus on the customer, the patient, the client, whatever word you want to put there, whatever you call them, but a relentless focus on them and making them feel their best every time they're doing business with you. Each interaction, each time, each employee, whatever the case may be, but it's always focused on the customer and making them feel valuable when they're interacting with your business.
Sure. So a lot of businesses have misunderstandings concerning customer service. What is a common misunderstanding that a lot of businesses have about it?
Well, the one I come across most frequently is business owners, particularly, they feel like they already provide great customer service.
Okay.
They'll champion and say, "Oh yeah, what you're doing is great. We need that. Customer service is terrible, but our business is good. We already provide stellar customer service." When statistically, that is probably not the case.
Okay.
So if business owner doesn't feel they have a problem, they're not going to be looking for a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're not looking for solutions, they won't see the gaping holes in their customer service that they're losing customers and money through. So that's a huge misconception that sometimes I have to take the blinders off of these business owners and help them see that, yeah, they do have pieces, but overall their customer service isn't that great.
Okay. So what are some businesses that we might know that have been successful with a foundation of exceptional customer service?
Well, they're some of the biggest businesses on earth right now were started and founded on great customer service, and that was their really number one focus. Disney is one of them. There's a reason
Definitely.
that Disney World and Disneyland are called the happiest places on earth. Amazon, we all know Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've used Amazon, especially over this last year.
Yes.
They're very convenient, but they were started, Jeff Bezos started with the foundation of how can we be convenient and provide stellar customer service. There's a restaurant here in the Dallas area, and they're all over. I don't know if you have them where up in Canada there, Luke, but Chick-fil-A is well known for their stellar customer service as well. So, and how convenient they are. So again, I always refer back to these businesses, and there's many others, but there's a lot of businesses that are huge now because they started on that foundation. So I'm not blowing smoke.
Right.
This is proven strategies and factual information that the business will take hold of. They may not achieve the level of Disney or Amazon, but there's nothing wrong with improving their business and creating some more profits and keeping more customers.
For sure. So, and Chick-fil-A, I don't think we have any in Canada yet. Maybe in Toronto or Vancouver, but I haven't seen them. But I do go when I come to the States, and hopefully we'll get some soon because it's great chicken.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they do make you feel great every time you go in the store. It's really something. So,
Absolutely.
what is a key principle of exceptional customer service? What is one principle that people should know about?
To understand that, and I kind of mentioned this before, where you have to understand that you're in the customer perception business, that you're providing some kind of perception. In my chiropractic clinics, I think of my office as a customer service office that just happened to do chiropractic work. So that was our number one focus.
Right.
But the principle is to understand that you are creating the perception, one way or the other. Right. You're creating a perception every time you're dealing with a customer. Now, the follow-up principle to that is the perception that a customer is going to have of your business is driven by how you make them feel.
Right.
So are you making them feel important? Are you making them feel valuable? Are you making them feel like rock stars? Or are you making them feel like a transaction, like another sale, like a number?
Yeah.
So that's up to the business owner. That's where kind of the rubber meets the road. What perception are you driving? Are you driving that perception? Are you making the customer feel valued or just like a number?
Yeah. And I know most businesses want to give good customer service, like I certainly do. But we make mistakes. We're not always aware. Like you said at the beginning, you got to sometimes take the blinders off some of these businesses. So what's a common mistake that businesses make when they're trying to provide good customer service?
Well, a lot of them they don't see it as a foundation principle. They don't see it as something that's going to be cultural in their business, ingrained in their businesses. Mm-hmm. Amazon, Disney, Chick-fil-A, it's ingrained. It's part of their culture. It's part of their business. It's not a flavor of the month or a 2-week, let's do this for a couple of weeks and see what happens. No, we're going to do this, and this is going to be part of our business. And so they make that mistake. And, I'm not pointing fingers at business owners because business, it's difficult. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of details you have to keep track of. You have, issues, and there's employees, and there's just all kinds of things that there needs to be taken care of. And so even if some businesses, they want to have great customer service, they feel like they need to champion that, life and business and stress and things get in the way, and it waters it down a lot of times. So I guess the basis for it just has to be, okay, I understand there's going to be stress, there's going to be issues, but it's not going to change our philosophy. It's not going to change our culture. It's not going to change the foundation of making the customer feel valuable every time they're working with us.
Right. Is this a huge process to change into a customer service oriented business, or is there a key action that a business could start immediately that would improve their customer service?
A lot of businesses want to make it a huge process, or they feel like it's going to be a huge process, and it's not. That's a lot of what I try to communicate. This doesn't have to be, something that is overwhelming and feel like it's just too big to undertake. There's just a few shifts that have to be made, but it has to come from the top down. So if I'm working with a business, I won't work with a business if the business owner says, just train my staff. They need to know it. Well, no, I want to train the business owner. I want to train the upper management, make sure it is ingrained in them, and then it's going to trickle down from there. Right. But basically, there's just 3 steps to it. So the first step is just getting the foundation and the philosophy right. And again, we've already talked about that a couple times, but just have that ingrained. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on the customer. That's it. And then once we do that, then we set the culture. And so we need the employees. We need those internally in the business to feel valuable as well. you can't skip that part because it'll completely undermine the whole process, and your effectiveness for providing great service won't be near as stellar as it should be. So the culture has to be set, and then we start putting the actions in place that create value along the way. So those 3 steps are all it takes. Typically, I only work with a business about 6 months, and then I'm on a retainer after that just to tweak and be a reminder. But and it really didn't even take 6 months. We do things in 3 months, 90 days, get it set, and then tweak it towards their business. Work with them in real life, real time to help them continue to get it right, get it straight, make it better. And again, it doesn't have to be a huge process.
Mm-hmm. In the book, I think you've got some great statistics about what improving customer service can do to a business. What are some of your favorite stats on that?
My absolute favorite stat is what I call the 5% bump. So this study was done by Bain and Company. And what they found out is if a business will simply increase their customer retention rate by 5%, so just 5%, just bump that retention rate up by 5%. That can lead to 25 to 95% increase in profits. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, that's what we're trying to do in business is just keep more business coming back, keep more customers coming back. So we want to drive up that retention rate, and you do that by making your customers feel valuable, important, special, and having great customer service. Because then they'll want to come back. They'll want to continue to do business with you. They'll want to tell their friends, family, and acquaintances about you. So just driving up that retention rate can lead to massive profits and growths.
Right. So this book, it's not just about chiropractors. It's about any type of customer-oriented business.
Exactly. And the principles, they'll fit in any business across the board for the most part. So I utilize them in my chiropractic business. But people and consumers are the same, whether they're doing business with a chiropractor or shoe salesman or real estate agent or whatever the case may be. They want to be they want to be treated good and be made to feel valuable and special. And so that's what these principles really help business owners understand and be able to implement.
Sure. So I'm a real estate agent, and I'm kind of a one-man show, but I've got a lot of people that work with me. So I've got like mortgage brokers, and I've got appraisers and other realtors, of course, that I got to deal with. What is something I could do today dealing with my clients that would be a little tweak that would, maybe help get a little more referrals, make them certain that the next deal they're going to do with me, things like that?
Well, 3 things can jump up your perception or your customer's perception of great customer service. So, and I call it the 3F formula. So the first thing is just being friendly. We all know that, but being friendly every time you're dealing with the customer, or you're dealing with the other real estate agents, the appraiser, whatever the case may be, you're always being friendly, making them feel valuable as well. Right. Second thing is being fast. People love fast. They love convenient. They love businesses that are expeditious. Going back to Chick-fil-A, they're known for, you could have a line of cars a mile long going through their drive-through, and you're going to be through that thing in 5 minutes because they are so efficient in that. So people love efficiency. They love fast. So the faster you can be in all the processes is a tremendous benefit. Okay. And then the third F, I call fixing problems, or really it's called service recovery, but fixing problems. So you're going to drop the ball. There's going to be issues. There's going to be things that happen. To be able to fix those to the satisfaction of the customer is incredibly important. And when you do that for a customer, that actually will create more loyalty. They'll be more loyal to your business. They'll be more loyal to your brand and stick with you longer. And they're the ones that will actually be the advocates and even more of a mouthpiece for you. So those 3 Fs are, if you don't focus on anything else, if you can be pretty good at those, it's going to raise your level of customer service up tremendously.
I think that's true. I've noticed that transactions that went really well, and I don't mean like there was no problems, but the ones that were the client was super satisfied at the end and referred me to people where, sometimes there were problems and I dealt with them, kept my cool and didn't get too excited. But I think it gives the customer a feeling of safety that if something does go wrong, you're going to be able to handle it. You're not going to freak out and you're going to stay friendly while you're doing it. So that's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
When you do that too, and you, one, just acknowledging that there's a problem, and not blaming anybody, just acknowledging it, maybe apologizing for it if it is your issue or you dropped the ball or somebody on your team just taking responsibility for it, and then doing something about it immediately gives that comfort and then just really drives up that confidence for your customers when things like that are dealt with quickly and efficiently. Really gives them a sense of security and then again a sense of loyalty to you when it's done correctly.
Right. That's great. So tell us a little bit about your book, Define and Deliver Exceptional Customer Service. How is it laid out? Like how is it structured? What are we going to find when we get that book?
Basically, it's an easy read. It's only about 150 some pages long. It is not full of fluff. It's just to the point. And it's just we've already talked about some of the principles, ideas, and then some great actions that a business owner can take, implement almost immediately, and then just start driving up their level of customer service. I like to call it a success manual of customer service is what it amounts to. So just get straight to the point, get to the meat of the subject, so the reader can take hold of that information and put it into play. That's the thing, is getting the information, but taking action on it and moving forward with it. So that's how I structured the book, and that's what I want the readers to take from it.
Perfect. So how do we find the book?
Amazon is the easiest way. And I have all formats of the book. So I have the hard copy, soft copy, a digital format, but also I have the Audible format. So
that's great.
A lot of people like to listen to books as they're, whatever they're doing. So I wanted to have that available. But Amazon's the easiest way. So you can just go on Amazon, obviously, or you can find the link on my website, which is drkellyhenry.com. The link for it is there as well.
Okay, perfect. We'll put the links in the show notes. So if someone's on the treadmill, they can just tap on that. They don't have to stop and write it down, but that's fantastic. So hope you have a great day in Texas. Looks like it's going to be okay here too.
We're supposed to have a nice sunny 60-degree day here, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time this morning and telling us all about customer service, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Newtown Big Dreams podcast with your host, Luke Menkes, and his authentic guests. And we love our listeners and hope you subscribe now to learn more about the amazing journeys of our incredible guests who relocated to find a new town, big dreams. And remember, make your dreams big.